record. So that way, so I'm recording right now. Just that way, if you guys like want to go back and listen to it, I post it. Okay, so from 1 to 2, there's 100 little pieces. There's 1, 2, 3. That's why it's, how much is it? It's 101, 102, 103, 150. That means you're halfway, 1.75. So from here to here, there is a distance. You have to understand the bottom line, there is a distance between 1 and 2. So that is the first thing we need to understand, that now we have to think more maturely, you guys. I know a lot of us say, I don't like math. Believe me, I understand and I respect that, but it's not the fact that you don't like math. It's the fact that maybe nobody has explained it to you differently. So from the number 1, I'm going to take away my cents, okay? Because even though we could use money as an example, but the whole life is not just money. Well, basically it is, because we work for money, right? But it's not. So we want to make sure that we are understanding that it's a little bit of both. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm so sorry, you guys. Mommy duties. I have my little one. Okay. So from 1 to 2, there's something in between. So we have, from here, we have 1.50, right? So basically thinking like if you have, the $1.50. Why is this important? Because if you're reading a graph like the one we're reading right here, and it's going up and down, that's exactly what it's doing. You have to understand, okay, so I'm going to go here, okay? And from 1982 to 1983, this is the year. You guys, what is in between 1982 and 1983? What do you understand in between 82 and 83? Even though it doesn't say it, because it might not say it, you guys, you have to understand it. That's the hard part. But believe me, it's common sense. And you're going to be like, that's it? Yes, that's it. Once you see like the explanation behind it, you're going to be like, really? Can they write it? No, you guys, I don't know why. They try to make things complicated instead of being easy. They try to, algebra creators try to make it more complicated. But bottom line, what's in between 82 and 83? When does a year start? I know you know it, you guys, because they're not trick questions, you guys, but I know you're panicking already. So don't panic. Calm down, because believe me, your effective filter, your stress is like, it's a trick question. No, bottom line, you guys, what do we celebrate? And when does a new year start? When is the beginning?
Months.
Yeah. So months. So January 1st is here and December 31st is right here. What's in between here?
12 months.
Yeah. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and then January again. So in between here, now you understand that these little points going up and down correspond to the months. So you have to visually line them up. See that?
Okay.
And that's why this is, sometimes we get confused, because we're like, why can't they just do that? If they do it, it becomes a very messy chart. So instead of having a whole bunch of bars up and down, they just kind of do it like this. And they assume, this is when it's hard, they assume that you will understand. Let me go ahead and erase all this, that you could see them. You see what I mean? So it is kind of hard, you guys, because they're like, why can't they just tell us there's months? They assume that you know. The same way from 1 to 2. Well, here is from 82 to 83. So here, January, February, March, April, May. So it looks like in the middle of June. See, right here, it went up in the middle of the year. Does that make sense, you guys? And if it doesn't, let me know, and I'll draw it. If I have to draw it, I'll draw it. Everybody's okay?
Miss Rosie.
You still confused? A little bit confused?
Yeah.
Okay, so look, so I'll show you. Okay, so the new year starts on January. So let me see if I could blow this up a little bit. Let me see if I could like get closer to it. Give me 1 second. I think I'm able to. Okay, so I'm gonna just look at this right here. I'm just gonna go focus on that, okay? So here, okay, from 82 to 83, in 1982, what's between 60 and 80? What's right in the middle between 60 and 80? So what's in between 60 and 80? What number is right in the middle? 70. It doesn't say it here, you guys. It doesn't say it, but you have to understand that between 60 and 80, there's a 70. So in 1982, the year started off with about 70. 70 what? I don't know. We're not, let's think 70, I don't know, Pepsis, because I just drank a Pepsi right now. So I'm thinking, 70 Pepsis in 1982. In 1982, everybody started off with 70 Pepsis, about 70 Pepsis. And you're thinking, where are you getting the 70? I'm getting the 70 because there is a 70 right in between 60 and 80. They're hidden numbers, you guys, that you have to see. The same way that I showed you that for number one, between number one and number two, there's numbers, like $1 to $2, 105, 102, 103, 110, 115, 120, 130, 150, 175, all the way to two. There's decimals. That's what they are. So here we have, between 60 and 80, there's 70. So in 1982, we started with 70. How many did we have around June? How many did we have around June? Well, what month of the year is June? So January to December.
It's the 6th month.
It's the 6th month. And so basically it means it's in the middle, right? So right in the middle, right here, we kind of eyeball it. We're going to eyeball it. Right here in June, mid-year, we had about 80. See that? Right here. So you eyeball it and you say, oh, about the middle of the year, we had 80. But in reality, they're just counting by years. They don't want the middle number, like with the 150. They just want the whole year. So at the beginning of the year, they had 70. In 83, at the end of 83, how many Pepsis did we have?
90.
90, because it's right here. And you have to eyeball it. It's all about like eyeballing it. Like if you have a ruler, awesome. If you have a ruler, then you could literally literally like move it up and find it. But if you don't have a ruler, then it's kind of, you have to eyeball it. Look, I got it right in the middle, kind of right in the middle. So we have approximately 90, see? And this is how you read charts. You read charts kind of lining them up. Okay. So basically that's how it works. Okay. Like I said, it takes a lot of practice because we need to be able to see it. Okay. How this works. So let me go ahead and turn off my ruler. Let me see how I turn it off. There you go. So in the end of 83, we had about 90. In the beginning of 82, we had 70. From 70 to 90, how much did we get? From 82 to 83, how much did we gain? How many Pepsis, if we're talking about Pepsis? How many Pepsis did we get? How many?
20.
20. So we see that it's increasing by 20. That's what it is. It's increasing by 20. Okay, so that's basically how we read this, okay? So one more time, I'll show you one more time. I'm going to erase all of this. Let me see if I can erase all of it. So let me see. It's so funny how even though it's a computer, I have to erase it the old-fashioned way. So funny. Okay, so let me erase it the old-fashioned way. They literally want me to like move the pencil around. Okay, so here, let's go see it again. You know what? As a matter of fact, let's see the actual page. Let's go and see the actual, this one. So in 82, we started with about, 70. In 83, we had about here, right? So now you could see that we had about 70 right here, right? In the middle, about 70. And then right here, we had, about 90. What happened in 84? How many did we have in 84? We're talking about teas, not Pepsis. We're talking about teas. So how many pounds of tea did we have at the end of 84 or in the beginning of 84?
140.
140. That was easy to read, right? Because the ruler is exactly right there.
Well, now it makes sense.
Okay. And then how much did we lose by the end of 84? By 85, how many did we go down?
40.
40. In mid-year, 20. See? So now you're reading it. So mid-year is around right here. If you could see my little chart. So this is basically how you read a bar graph, okay, or chart. All of them have stories and they have hidden numbers. They have hidden numbers in between because you guys, we can't fit all of these bars in one. It will look messy. It will look very messy to put every single month and going up and down, up and down. So what they do is that they kind of just jot it down. Literally, you guys, I'm going to show you how they do it. So for example, so let's see, I have, okay, so I'm gonna say here, I'm gonna put here, and I'm gonna put here, okay? And I'm gonna put January to December, okay? And I'm going to put like from how many are we? We're 10 in total. So from 1 to 10, okay? Anybody born in January? Was anybody? You were born in January? Anybody else? Unmute yourself if you were born in January. We're gonna make a bar graph. Anybody born in January? Only one person? Okay, so I'm gonna put my dot right there. Anybody born in February? My February babies? No February babies at all? No? Okay. March babies?
Here I am.
One March baby? Anybody else? Anybody else born in March? Only one? Okay, I'm gonna stick with one. How about April? Anybody having a birthday to this month?
Right here.
Okay, that's it, only one? Okay, I'm gonna go back and check, you guys, because you're messing up my chart. April, May. Anybody born in May? I'm born in May. Anybody else born in May? Anybody? Okay, so okay, Herbert, you already voted. Alex, Alondra, Daniel, Karina, Laura, Liz, Marcelina, Rodolfo, Yolanda. Who else do I have? Let me see. Go. That's it. Anybody born in May? Only me? Okay, so we're gonna have a flat graph. How about in June? Summer babies. Anybody born in June? Nobody born in. Okay, you guys better tell me you guys are born in July. July? Anybody? Let me. I'm gonna turn off my. Hold on. Maybe because I can't see you. Hold on 1 second. If you guys are putting like the emojis, maybe because I can't see them. Anybody born in July? Did I miss anybody? Anybody? No? I want to make sure I'm not missing your guys' chat. Okay, so July. How about June? June, July, August. Anybody born in August?
Me.
Miss Rosie.
Okay, so two of you. Marcelina,
Yes.
you too, August?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm like, please don't, I need September. Anybody born in September?
Me, Miss Rosie.
Just one? Anybody else in September? Rodolfo, Yolanda, Alondra, Liz, anybody? Only one? Okay, we have all around everybody. Okay, October, going once, going twice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Somebody of you guys are not voting. October, November, going once. Okay, so some of you guys were not born. December. Okay, only one. Daniel, one. Only one person. Okay, some of you guys are not voting. So some of you didn't vote. So I'm going to make this up. I'm going to say that I have, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And how many of you didn't vote? So I have 4 of you that didn't vote. So I'm going to put 3 in July and 1 in October. Look, you guys, this is how you make a bar graph. See, all I'm going to do is connect. Oh, actually, I cannot connect it that way. Let me go ahead and erase that because it goes to 0. So it goes something like this. Oh, this goes back to 0. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead. Let me see if I can erase that one because it has to go back to 0. Remember? Because there's 0 right here. Or it's 0 because we don't have any. And okay, so it's going to go like this. And back to 0 and then up. And then it goes back to 0 and then up. Okay, so this is basically how you do a graph. It's kind of messy. Do you see that? So when it's like this, you guys, then they just rather, take away the months and they just put maybe January, June, and December. So I'm going to go ahead and erase the name of the months. And then you're going to understand that in between, there's the 12 months. Does that make sense? So basically, this is how they do a bar graph. Okay, they draw it. So that's the story behind this. Okay, so we have to understand that there's hidden stories here. So in 1982, the prices of tea per pound was $70. Or what is the price? Cents per pound? 70 cents. 70 cents. By 83, it was 90 cents. By 84, it's 140 cents, which is 140, a dot, 140, you know. And then it went down 20 cents in 1985, and then it kept going down in 1986. That's the story. In between, you have little stories. Okay? So that's how you read this bar graph. Any questions? How you guys feel? More confident with reading a bar
Yeah,
graph?
it makes sense now, Miss Rosie. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for asking. Always. Thank you for asking. So now, how do we get the average? How do we get the average, you guys? Now we go back to mean, median, and mode. The average is the mean. That's what's called the mean. So you're going to get every number that you have, and you're going to divide it by, you know, at this moment, we don't want to make it complicated. We're going to just divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 years. So this one is 70. Okay, so let me go ahead and find it. So this one will be 70. Let me see if I could draw on this one. Okay. So on this specific one, this one will be 70 cents right here. This is 70. This one was what? And 80 was 90. I'm just looking at the, see right here, this is 140. This one right here was 120. Oh, 100. See, I have to line it up. I have to look at it. This is 100. Let me make it. And 86, it was 90. So how do I get the average? The average, I add all the numbers. 70 plus 90 plus 140 plus 100 plus 90. Was it 90 again? Yeah, 90. Okay. So here, then if I do the math, right? I kind of get the number, and then I divide the number by 5. Okay. What am I talking about? I added. What's somebody, whoever has like, you know, a fast mind, what is 70 plus 90 plus 140 plus 90? Somebody do it. Well, I'll do it for you. So 9 plus 7, 16. 16 and 4, 20. See? 20 plus 9, 29. Right? And I carry my 2. 2 plus 3, plus 1, 3, plus 1, 4, 49. Right? Divided by 5 equals 9. And I round it off. I'm going to round it off. I don't want decimals. So I'm going to say about 90. The average is going to be about 90. So that's what they have, about 90 cents per pound, the average. What is the average? How much they, in 1 year, what was like the constant number, the average? Más o menos, like we say in Spanish, más o menos. Okay, that's the average. And that's how they got it here. And we'll practice that more. Okay, right now I want to make sure we practice more like graph reading. Okay, so that's 90 cents per pound. Okay, so let's go back to here. Okay, so like I say, that's exactly what I did right now. Okay, the average. And you could see the average, you guys, because we got 92 times. 90 here and 90 here. So we understand that más o menos 90, right? About 90. Okay, so let's look at this one. This is the same thing as the other one, you guys. The only difference is that this one got more details and did a lot of graphs, This one's easier to read. Isn't it true? This one's a little bit easier to read because it kind of tells you how much. Like in January, that's exactly what I did right now with the months. In January, they had 4 kilowatts. You know, what is it, kilowatts or kilohertz? What am I reading? Electricity, yeah, kilowatts. Okay, so in January, they had 4 kilowatts. In February, 4 as well. And March 3, and then 4, and then what is it? 4.5. You see that? 4.5 right here. And so forth. Okay. Looking at this, just looking at it, just eyeballing. We call it eyeball. Okay, just eyeball. Looking at this by eyeball, what is the average? Más o menos. Not the highest, not the lowest. El promedio, the middle number. What do you think it, like, what do you think it's going to be? Just eyeball it. Don't do the math yet. Just eyeball it.
4.
Around 4, huh? Because look, 4, 4, 4, right? Or 4, 4, 3, 4, 4.5, about 3, 3. So about maybe, I'm going to say between 3.5 and 4, right? 3.5 and 4. That's how kind of the average. I'm going to say go with 4 just to go a little bit higher. So that is basically eyeballing it. Like saying, like, you know, promedio, like the middle, okay? Well, to make sure that we get it correctly in the GED, you cannot eyeball it. And the real GED, they want you to find the real average, okay? So now let's go back to a couple of weeks ago. Some of you were in my class, some of you weren't. If you weren't in my class, please don't panic, okay? Because I'm gonna review it again. Okay, how do you get an average? An average this is the formula. So if you're writing this down, make sure you understand this. The word average, oh, come on, computer. Okay, the word average means mean. Not mean like you're being mean. No, like that's in mathematics, the average means mean. Es lo mismo. The word mean and the word average is the same thing. Average, not average. Erase that one. Average, okay? Let me see if I could erase it. There you go. So the word average means it's the same thing as mean. Okay? Does that make sense, you guys? Be careful with the word mean because I'll be like, you're mean. No, this is mean of math. Okay, the word mean and average, they're the same word. They're synonyms. But because the word mean gets confused with you're being mean, they don't use it. Okay? So the word average and the mean is the same formula. How do you get the average or how do you get the mean? The average, you get it by adding all the numbers. So this is the formula. The formula to get the average, okay? Does anybody remember it from a while back? I'm so sorry, you guys. It's so hard to write on a little tablet. This is my little tablet, by the way, if you guys could see it. It's so hard to write on it. Okay, so let me see. Does anybody remember the formula to get the average? Anybody?
You add up all the points on the graph.
Mm-hmm. So the formula is not only the points, the numbers that they give you, because maybe it's not a graph. Maybe they give you just a regular number. Okay, so so formula, this is the formula. Let me see if I could write it. You know what? Let me type it. I don't even know why I'm writing it. If I could just type it. It's so hard to draw on a little tiny tablet. I miss my big whiteboards. Okay, so this will be the formula. The formula is, and I'll make this bigger in a couple minutes. The formula is, okay, add all the numbers given. Okay, you add all the numbers that you have, all the numbers, you add them. Okay, so let me get this bigger for you. So you add all the numbers given and divide, okay, and divide. Let's see if I could go back to here. And divide by, divide by the numbers that, how many numbers you have. Add all the numbers given and divide by the amount or by how many numbers you have. Okay.
And those are the numbers on the bottom of the graph, correct?
Yes.
It could be months, it could be numbers,
It could be whatever. So that's why I want to make sure that we understand that it's not like just the numbers at the bottom. It could be any numbers that they give you. Okay, and that's how you find the average or the mean. So whenever in a GED, if you see the word average or you see the word mean, it's the same thing. Okay, don't get confused. And I know it's confusing, but it's the same thing. Why do they do this, you guys? Because it's algebra vocabulary. Mean means average. So in this situation, and the graph that we have here, okay, so this is the formula. If you guys are copying it, let me know. Anybody copying it, or could I switch over to the, you know what, I'll open it on the side. So that way you guys don't worry. And then I'll get ready over here. Everybody's good copying the formula? Because I know some of you could write. See, this is when I miss my classroom because I can't see you, but I assume you guys are copying this down. I hope you're copying this down.
Yes, I am. I'm good.
You're good? Okay. Let me know if I ever go too fast, you guys. Just let me know. Slow me down, because I think I'm more hyper in the afternoon than in the morning. By 8 o'clock, I'm tired, but right now I'm really hyper. Okay. So this is basically how you find the average. Okay. Let's do the average of this. Okay. So on this specific formula, okay, we're going to find the average. What is the average? We kind of eyeballed it already. We already said the eyeball. We kind of said, oh, well, I see this. Okay. So on this one, so everybody get ready, get your piece of paper. Okay. You're going to add 4 Okay, so you're going to add 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7.5. That's a half, you guys. Oh, so this one's 4.5 too. So go back and redo it. Start all over again because this is a 4.5. Look. So 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4.5 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7.5 plus 6.5 plus, what is this? 3 plus 3 plus 5. So you have to follow my ruler, plus 4. What is the answer? I'm going to trust you guys are doing it.
65.5.
65.5. Did everybody agree with that? Everybody else got it? I'll wait for everybody else.
And that would be divided by 12, right?
Divided by 12, and that's how you get the average. So 60, what is it, 65.5?
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to cheat. Well, I'm not technically cheating. I'm going to facilitate. I'm going to use my calculator just to do it a little bit faster, you guys. I want to make sure that
5.45.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. So we were close. So Daniela and I, well, we were actually off because we were not taking consideration the 4. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put it here on my side of my computer. So I'm going to say 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4.5 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7.5. Give me 1 second. 7.5. Uh-oh. See, I'm not paying attention over here. Give me 1 second. Okay. So 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4.5 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7.5 plus 6.5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 4 equals 65.5. See, here's my 65.5. I'm going to divide that by 12 because that's how many numbers I added together by 12. And my average is 5.45.
What about the 583 behind it? Do we even consider that?
Did I forget one?
No. I'm saying, you know how the answer is 5.45.
Oh, you round off. Okay, so good question. So in any, you're not in college yet. In college, your professors will tell you up to how many decimals you want to round up. By default, you guys, it doesn't matter right now, but because you guys are at the GED level, meaning that you guys are at 11th, 12th grade level, that you guys have to understand it's always round out to 2, only to 2. You're rounding out to 2 decimal numbers. So here, that number is, I'm going to go ahead and copy this whole entire number. So right here, the number is, so I could show you. Let me go back to my whiteboard. So the number for this situation, you guys, is this big number right here. So we're only going to round out to the second. Okay. So the rounding goes like this. Okay. So I look at the 4 and then the 4 looks at the 5. I'm rounding right here. If this number is an 8, since this number is an 8, does the 45 stay the same or does it go up?
No, it goes up by 1.
So the answer is going to be 5.46 because the 5, it looks at the 8 and the 8 is up. So this number is going to go to 6. This one stays the same. Or if they really want you to go up, you guys, like they say, round up to the nearest 10th, like they don't want any 46, then you could say 5.50. See that? So it all the GED is going to tell you, you guys, once we get to the big GED problems, we're going to tell you how to round up. But we could safely say that it's 550 because it's like 46 cents, you guys. If you're going to pay, it's 5.46. It's 550. Think of I don't know, what's 550? A venti Starbucks. It's 5.46. It's 550. You round up. Okay. So
how about if the number like the 58 is lesser? Like let's say it was 5.436.
Then it will be 540.
540. You round out. Also, that's basically rounding to the nearest 10th.
The nearest 10th, and usually every math problem will be very specific.
Okay.
Okay. So there's no trick in. That's a good thing about math. Math is either right or wrong. And right at the moment, I didn't tell you what to round off. I'm going to say round off to the nearest half. Round off to the nearest half. because that's what we're counting. We're counting by halves. So 550. So the answer here will be 550. So Daniel, you and I were really off because I said about 3.5 and, you know, you said about 4. In reality, it's 550, you know, the average because of the ups and downs, the ups and downs, the up and downs. It's about 550. Okay. And that's how you get the average right here, the average. Okay. Now, how do you get the mean? I mean, medium, the medium. The mean we already got. The mean is the same thing as average. Just remember that, you guys. If you forget anything else, please remember what I said earlier. The mean and average is the same thing. Believe me, you guys, there's many students who come to me and they always tell me, oh, I failed my test. I go, why? I forgot what was mean. And I looked at them and I go, do you know how to do the average? Oh yeah, the average I know, but I don't know mean. And I'm thinking, mean and average are the same thing. They're like, I forgot. So please, you guys, don't forget the average and mean is the same thing. Okay, average and the mean are the same thing. Okay, so now, and remember, I'm recording this just in case you're like, I need to review what Miss Rosie said, you know, whatever. I'm recording this. Okay.
How do we get the recording from this?
So the recordings, and once I finish, always kind of give me a couple of hours to put them up because I have to convert them into YouTube. But the recordings will be on the website. Let me show you where they're at. So on my website, here on the website that I have, the bit.ly, they're under my language arts social studies. It's right here.
Oh, okay.
I know we have another math here, you guys, but remember, I do the pre-algebra. Mr. Pedraza does the big algebra. So always go to Ms. Leon Blanco right here, because I know sometimes you're going to be looking for the math here because I am doing math, but technically I'm doing pre-algebra. He does algebra. Okay. So right here, Leon Blanco, you go to recordings. You go to recordings and you have to pay, like in March, it says right here, evening pre-GED. You guys at the evening pre-GED. You guys can always watch all of my videos. Some students are watching all of them. If you guys, you know, you can't attend my class, but you can watch. That's a good thing about virtual learning right now, that you could attend all the classes at different times because you can.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I truck drive and sometimes.
Yeah, by all means, listen to me in the, you know, as you're driving. you're gonna have nightmares of me now. No, but you go, you know, listen to the conversations because especially for the social studies, I do that. Okay. So let's go back. Okay, so now what is the, okay, so we have the average, that's the mean. So I'm covering mean, median, oh, not median, median, the median. What is the median, you guys? The median is basically means the middle, el del medio, median, middle, median. Okay, so you're going to get all of these numbers, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 8, everything, and you're going to find which one's in the middle. This is kind of difficult. It's not difficult, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. The reason a lot of people find math hard is because we're lazy. We want math to be quickly like 2 times 2, 4, right? That's it. No, you guys. Math, you have to line it up. You have to be able to understand that you have to put these in order. Okay? So, you guys have your numbers in front of you? Yes, no, maybe so? Okay, I'm gonna ask if you have a camera, take a picture of this. Okay. Everybody's good? Because I'm gonna move over. I'm gonna move it over. Everybody's good? You took a picture of this? Or at least you have the numbers in front of you? 4, 4, 3, 4, 4.5, 8, 9, 7.5, 6.5, 3, 3, 5, and 4. Everybody got it? Yes, no, maybe so. Put thumbs up. Put the thumbs up in the emojis. There you go. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to move this over. Let's put these in order. Okay, we have to end up with 12 numbers. Okay, obviously the first one is 4. And then we have another 4. Oh, no, actually, we have to start with 3. I forgot my 3. So we start with 3, and then a 4, and then another 4. And then what else, you guys? Another 4. Isn't it right? Yes, no, maybe so. Hello. Hello out there.
Yes.
Okay, good. So 3, 4, 4, 4. Which number is after 4? Tenemos un 3 y 4, un 3 y 4 cuatros, right? No, we have another 4. Otro 4 acá. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 minute. I'm not going to do your homework. I already passed my GD. Believe me, I passed my GED and a couple other degrees. Okay, so I'm going to have you. I want you to put these in order. I want you to put these numbers. I'll put it back here. I'll put it back on the website. I'll put it right here. Hold on. So I want you to put these in order from smallest to biggest. Put them in order. I'm gonna go get some water, you guys. I'll give you 2 minutes to put these in order. And I want you to tell me which two numbers, because we have 12. So that means you're gonna have two numbers in the middle, and which number is right in the middle. From 4 all the way to 9. Which number is in the middle according to this graph? Okay, so I'll be back. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna go get some water. I'm gonna resume the recording. So I'm recording again. Okay. So 1215 is the Magna Carta, you guys. The Magna Carta is the official time that a king said people have human rights. What is a human right? You have the right to life, liberty, and to property, to have your house, your home, your family. That's life, liberty, and property. Once the Declaration of Independence, they say life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But Magna Carta was the first one that somebody said it. That's called the Magna Carta. Jamestown, Virginia, the first colony established. Then it became 13 colonies. So you need to make sure that in the future, you need to know your 13 colonies, okay? So I'm gonna put here, 13 colonies, just in case, so you guys have an idea, make sure you study, okay? The Pilgrims arrived in 1620. I'm gonna go ahead and hold on. I'll put this after. I don't wanna confuse you guys. 1620, the Pilgrims arrived in the Mayflower. Okay, those were the official, the Pilgrims arrived because they were looking for freedom of religion, because in England and in Europe in general, they were persecuting because of religion. The Catholics against the Protestants, the Anglicans, etc. So, they were kind of fighting for religion. So the Pilgrims came to America for freedom of religion in 1620. That's why we have, the basics. Give me 1 second, you guys. They're calling me from the school. Give me 1 second. The principal's calling me. What else do we have? The Declaration of Independence. We have the ratification of the Constitution. Then after the Constitution was made, we had the Louisiana Purchase. They purchased, the territory that belonged to France in the middle, where Louisiana is, with Kansas, Missouri, a lot of these, like in the middle, it belonged to the Louisiana Purchase. So, that's basically called that. In 1803, it doubled the size of the United States. From 1812 to 1814, the war of it's called the Second Revolution. Why is it called the Second Revolution? Because England didn't want to give up. England's so like, I want my America back, and we're gonna fight. So that's why it's almost called the Second Revolution, and that is called the War of 1812. Okay, after they had so much land, and a lot of founding fathers, George Washington was dead, Benjamin Franklin was dead, they started to be very cruel and mean to the natives, to the Cherokees, the Syracuse. They started to move a lot of the natives away. I don't know the correct name of the tribes, but at that area like New York, Georgia, from Georgia all the way to New York and every places, even here, you guys in California, they started to move the natives, and that's called the Trail of Tears. Originally, it started in Georgia, and it started with President Andrew Jackson, okay, the guy in your $20 bill. Then that turned into a mentality that they just wanted more land. America became very ambitious, and this became Manifest Destiny. Manifest Destiny is, like I mentioned earlier, it's almost like an interpretation of how racism started to play, because they started to say that the superior Americans were superior, and they wanted to take over the land, to the point that it actually went all the way down to Mexico. So America wanted more land. The Americans, the US Americans wanted more land. And this is where they were fighting, or they were trying their best to take over other lands. So there was actually a dispute for the land. Presidente Santana of Mexico borrowed money, and he didn't pay back. So they took over, they repossessed the territories of Mexico here in the United States, California, all the way up to part of Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and things like that. And okay, so that is 1846 to 1848. Okay, so far so good, you guys. Any questions? This is a crash course. This is just a crash course because I need to make sure that you guys are understanding these stories before I give you the actual stories. Everybody's okay with that?
Yes.
Does anybody need me to clarify anything? Look at this right here, Magna Carta, Jamestown, and something like think of yet of tomorrow. If somebody asks you, what is the War of 1812? ¿Saben contestar? You guys know how to answer? Be honest. Not only 1812, but all of them. Take a moment.
The one that the 1812, I'm a little bit confused, teacher.
Okay, so the War of 1812. So very good thank you for asking me, Alondra. So the War of 1812, let's go back to the War of 1812. So I want to make sure that we understand one thing. Okay, so remember that the Louisiana Purchase, okay, Napoleon needed money, and Napoleon needed money. So this in red right here. Let me go ahead and open this image. This in red belonged to France. This right here in the middle that is red, this belonged to France. Oh, I know it's blurry. So let me get a better image. So what happened was the fact that when the United States made this awesome deal with France, in pocas palabras, compró carro nuevo, right? Or they bought something really big, the United States became huge. So the United States, it wasn't only the 13 colonies, you guys, the United States became extremely big. So let me show you how big it was. So originally it was only this. So in 1776, it was only this right here. This is 1776. By 1803 ya tenían todo esto, más esto un poquito más aquí. So by 1812, England dijo, oh my gosh, si volvemos, a regresar and we make the United States, ours again, so tendrían todo esto, literally. So England trató de pelear otra vez. Okay, and remember, England was the dominator, fue el que dominaba Estados Unidos antes de ser independizados. Mexico and Latin America fue España. In the United States, that's why we speak English, was England. So England said, hey, I want this back. I want a second fight, otra revolución. So that's why the War of 1812 here on the notes, that War of 1812 también es conocida like the Second Revolutionary War. Okay, because it was more like, vamos a pelear otra vez. Ya se volvió rico, let's go back. So that's basically, the basics. Is that better, Alondra?
Yes.
Y honestamente, you guys, era de puro orgullo. It was a battle, a war of pride. Se sentía herido. I have no idea, honestly, you guys. Okay, so America was this big. Okay, so Manifest Destiny, I'm sorry, not Manifest Destiny. The Louisiana Purchase literally became huge. So the U.S. doubled the size. So the United States just completely doubled the size. ¿Cómo era posible, you guys? How is it possible that little England, if you guys know where England is, you have to know your maps, you guys. How is it possible the little tiny England that is over here, this little country, right here, this United Kingdom, this little island, iba a poder pelear con tanto aquí? It was impossible. Honestly, it was impossible. But el intento lo hicieron. They tried it. So in the GD, you're going to get stories of the War of 1812. The War of 1812, okay? So if you look at the War of 1812, they're going to show you how they're fighting. So if in the GD you see any of these images, like pictures of the ships, then you understand that it's the War of 1812.
So is that the one where George Washington's he's on an actual ship?
No, that's George Washington didn't fight in this one. George Washington,
No.
well, actually, he might have helped, but he wasn't the leader. The one that he's in the actual ship is the revolution, the actual revolution.
Oh, the revolution. It wasn't Tippecanoe, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the War of 1812, I don't think it was George Washington. I think it was actually Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson that's why later on he was very young during the War of 1812. And then when he became president, he was known to have fought in the War of 1812. See, even here, it says right here. So there you go. So see this one, this is Andrew Jackson, according to this. Okay. So we have to understand that the War of 1812 is basically something of pride, como de orgullo, right? So you're going to see in the GD, you might see different art, But now you know that the minute you see 1812 or 1814, it's the second revolution. If you see 1776, it's the first revolution. See what I mean? That's why it's so important to know the dates, not the stories, you guys, the dates. Okay. So thank you for asking, Alondra. Is that better?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Anybody else, you guys? I believe me, I'm being patient right now. Please ask me. Yes.
What's the name of the movie for the, I think you said the Trails of Tears?
The Trail of Tears, there's many. The one that I, even though it doesn't have the actual dates, will be like, for example, The Last of the Mohicans. Let me see if I could find it. But that way you have an idea of how cruel, like, you know, people were with the natives, you know, and things like that. So let me see. Let me see if I could find that. The Last of the Mohicans. So something like this, it's a really, I think it's right now, it's free on Netflix, you guys, if I remember. But The Last of the Mohicans, like this one, The Last of the Mohicans. And you could have an idea. And look, even see, it says 1826 is the beginning of the Trail of Tears. Because people are just trying to move the natives away. They're just like, I want your land for my cows, move. And it's not fair. There's many, you guys. Let's see, let's ask Google, you know, movies based on Trail of Tears.
I think the most accurate thing would be National Geographic.
Oh yeah, always. Not by History Channel too. But if you want to watch something like more, like sometimes the movies kind of are more entertaining and they kind of, you know, but the more accurate is History Channel, of course. But you know what, Alondra, I think The Last of the Mohicans, and the reason I know for a fact, you know, that there haven't been too many movies on the Trail of Tears is too hard to interpret. The Trail of Tears is cruel, you guys. The Trail of Tears es alguna crueldad horrible. It's the cruelty of human, you know, nature and ambition. It is so cruel because people were just being forced to move. See that? They were just literally forcing them to move. Like, we need you out. We need your land. Get out. So there's documentaries, si hay documentales. And like I said, I think they're on Netflix too, like the Trail of Tears. This is a documentary. See? So you can always look for like the documentaries of the Trail of Tears. Okay. It's really, really sad. Okay. So any other questions, you guys? Good questions, you guys. ¿Me saben todo esto? Honestly? ¿Les doy el GED mañana? Yes.
I just need the new era. Like,
okay, perfect. Okay, so if everybody's okay with this, so we're good with Mexican. Okay, the Civil War, let's start with the Civil War. So if you notice, I put a line here. Why do I put a line here? Because this is basically the manifest destiny, and this is more with the natives and the Mexicans and the natives of the land. The Civil War now starts with abuse of power against our Black Americans. Why do I say Black Americans? Because you guys, a lot of people always say African Americans. That is incorrect, you guys, unless you know for a fact that person has a grandma or a grandfather in Africa, they're not African Americans, very respectfully, okay? Because remember, the very first slaves came to America in the 1600s. In the 1600s, it was so rude, you know, people were going to Africa. They were literally going to Africa. And because they spoke a different language, they would just steal people from Africa. Se los robaban. Literally, they would just steal them from Africa. So if they stole them from Africa in 1600, en los 1600, keep that in mind. I'm talking Spanish, you guys. There's no confusion. If they were stolen from Africa in 1600s, you know, how do they say it with guns, you know, to your head, like either you get on the ship or I kill you. So people got in ships, you know, they didn't have an option. And now it is 1860s. How many years has it been? From 1600 to 1860, how many years? Somebody do the math.
200 years.
200 years. In 200 years, are they going to have family in Africa? Are they going to be able to go back to Africa? They're not from Africa. They are from the United States. So These are the Black Americans, the same way that we call them Mexican Americans, Asian Americans, where they're, yes, I get the fact that we say Black African Americans, but you guys, bottom line, they're not from Africa because they don't have any grandparents in their country. I still have my grandmother or my uncles, my great uncles, and in Mexico, so I could still say Mexican American. But there's a lot of people here in the United States who are from here, and their last name is Garcia, Hernandez, whatever you guys want. They don't have anybody in Mexico, only because they have the last name and the color of the skin, but they're not from Mexico. They're Americans. So same thing happened here. We have the Black Americans who are being abused because now they're not considered Americans. And believe it or not, you guys, I'm recording this and I respect this very profoundly. I'm a teacher and I respect what I'm going to say, but this is true. In this era, in esta era of 1860s, you guys, the mentality that they didn't consider Black Americans even human. Agárrense. Did you guys understand what I said? Yes, no? In this era, in the 1860s, the Black Americans were considered 3/4 human. Que ignorancia, right? But you guys understand what I said. I want to make sure you guys understand this because this will be in the GD. Did you guys hear did you understand what I said? Somebody repeat what I said. ¿Cómo lo entienden?
Black Americans were considered 3/4.
Yeah, 75% human. The rest weren't human. How is that possible? Right? So the Black Americans were not considered human. And basically, they were considered property, not even human, not even a human life. They were considered property. So a lot of people wanted to, the North colonies or the northern states, los estados que tenían muchas factories, a lot of factories. They didn't care who was the worker as long as they were working. So the northern colonies of the United States. So let's look at the map of the United States. Okay, so I'm gonna say, give me 1 second. So the map of the United States like this, okay, this is the map of the Civil War. During the era of the Civil War, the northern states didn't mind freeing the slaves. They were like, yes, free them. We don't really, as long as they're working, make them, they're human, they're 100% human. So, give them their liberty, make them free or give them the freedom. The southern states, has anybody ever been to the southern states? Has anybody ever been to like Georgia, Louisiana? Yes. Have you seen the plantations?
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, they're bad, but they're bad like in a good way, right? They are beautiful. So I'm going to show you, for example, a Georgia plantation. Georgia plantation. You guys, these plantations are huge. Look at this. They existen, right? These plantations are huge. Well, I have I don't even have a big house. I have a normal house and I can keep it clean. And it's only me. So to keep a house, an upkeep of the garden, the house, everything, they needed the slavery. But not only from the outside, you guys, they also had the cotton fields, the cotton, or, the cotton, in general, the mano de obra, So the southern colonies, or the southern states, I need to stop saying colonies. Colony is only when it was part of England. When they became independent, it's called states. So the southern states, they didn't want to give up their slaves because it was convenience for them. If they give up their slaves, it's like giving up their economy. ¿Quién lo va a trabajar? Right? So basically, that's the abuse of power. So this is the cause of the Civil War. The Civil War basically was the main cause. Okay? Any questions about the Civil War? If the GD is going to ask you, or if they're going to kind of infer, they're going to give you the reference. What is the main cause of the Civil War?
Slavery.
Slavery. But explain it to me. Why? Why did the South fight the North?
To keep the workforce in place, to keep their actual plantations being serviced by slaves and not being able to pay them.
Perfect. Exactly. Not being able to pay them, to consider them just property, because if you consider somebody human, then that means that you have to pay them wages, hourly wages. So they just want to say, like, just keep them my property. They're my property, leave them alone. So it's abuse of power, you guys.
And the North one.
And the North one, exactly. So the Civil War, basically the main causes of Civil War, I'm going to put here on my notes here. So that way you understand the main causes of the Civil War. Why is this not working? The main causes of Civil War, I'm going to say here, main causes. The main causes of Civil War was the fact that main cause of Civil War, okay, was the Emancipation Proclamation. Emancipation Proclamation by Abraham Lincoln. And the Emancipation Proclamation basically said, I, the President of the United States, am asking you to free your slaves. Okay, so the Emancipation Proclamation proclaims, it's not official law, you guys. It doesn't become an official law yet, but proclaims is asking. Is
Teacher?
asking. Yes, go ahead.
Did they finish with when Abraham Lincoln was dead, or
Yes.
what? Yeah.
So good question. Exactly. Good question. So the Emancipation Proclamation wasn't a law, you guys. A proclamation es una proclamación. Yo proclamo que todos liberen a sus esclavos, basically. I proclaim that everybody please free your slaves. And the minute, you guys, the minute that the southern states, you know, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, some of parts of Virginia, Texas, all the southern states, you guys, like in the map. Let's go back to my little map here. Where is it? The minute that they heard that, right? The map of the Civil War. The minute they heard that, they were just like, I don't think so. And they tried to create a new country. Literally, they tried to create a new country. South Carolina said, I don't think so. I am not going to, we're going to become a new country. So officially, like literally officially, they se declararon independientes. They declared themselves independent of the United States. And Abraham Lincoln no iba a permitir eso. He was like, I don't think so. No se van a separarnos porque yo digo algo. So they were saying, we're not going to become a country. Have you heard, los mitos? There's always a mito. It's always a myth. Have you guys ever heard that California wants to become its own country?
Yes, actually. And that in, I think, another country.
That's not going to happen. We're going to have to literally go into war because do you really think the rest of the United States is going to make us, it's going to allow us to become independent?
No, that's going to be like Rome being in Italy.
Exactly. And it's going to be impossible because a lot, like right now, there's people that come and go from Arizona, from Nevada. You're going to need a passport to go to Vegas, you guys. You're going to need a passport to go to, anywhere. So I don't think so. So basically, it's not that easy to say, I'm going to become independent. But South Carolina, this one right here in the bottom, right here, South Carolina, was the first one to say, los provocó a todos, let's separate. So do you see how it's broken? Like right here, that's what they're trying to explain to you. That United States tried to break into another country, the red country and the blue country. The red wanted to keep slavery legal, and the blue wanted to abolish. The word abolish means stop slavery. And the ones that,
is that where Republicans and Democrats come from, the color?
Not yes and no, because Mr. Abraham Lincoln was Republican.
Yeah.
So we can't really say that. It's the mentality, but not 100%, because remember, Abraham Lincoln was in fact Republican. So we can't really say that all Republicans think like this. No, because Mr. Abraham Lincoln, who in fact was Republican, was the first one who said, I don't think so. So, okay. And the ones in blue and red, you guys, you see the ones in blue and red, those are the confused ones. Virginia actually broke into West Virginia. Like Virginia used to be only one Virginia. And then because of the conflict and the mentality, it became West Virginia and Virginia. Okay. So the ones in between, this is where a lot of the fighting happened in the blue and red states right here in the middle. Okay. So this is the cause of the revolution. Now, going back to the stories. So all of this happened, you guys, and this continued for many, many, many years. In 1863, one of the bloodiest battles happened in Gettysburg, Virginia. So the Gettysburg, Virginia, 54,000 people, civilians, fighting for the stop or the continuation, depending on what side, they fought and they were hurt. 54,000 people. That's a lot of people, you guys. So the Emancipation Proclamation, let me go ahead and show you. So I'm not Emancipation Proclamation, I'm sorry. The Gettysburg Address, I'm sorry, I can't type. I think I'm getting tired officially now. The Gettysburg Address right here, I'm going to say, for example, casualties. So you could see the casualties totaled in total, you guys, if you see here from, 104,000, in total, and they're estimating from 75 to 75,000 estimated, fighting, and the casualties were, from the actual wounded or dead, 23 to 28,000. So like an average of 54, because I always remember the word 54,000 people either hurt or killed, or they died after because they died from their wounds. Okay, so keep that in mind, because we have to understand that's one of the most bloodiest battles. So Abraham Lincoln made a great speech about the Gettysburg, because in Gettysburg, Virginia, okay, too many people died in that area that Mr. Abraham Lincoln said, we cannot make houses in this land. For the rest of, of the United States history, we need to honor this land where they fought. So they made a memorial. And when they made a memorial, they also made, he made a speech about the Gettysburg Address. And he's saying, people here are fighting either because you defend slavery or because you're against it. But the point is, 54 or, almost 100,000 people were fighting here. So we need to respect this land. And that's why the Gettysburg Memorial is so famous. Okay. Are you guys okay so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
teacher.
okay. So now going back to what Alondra said, okay. In 1865, okay, we begin with the passing of the 13th Amendment. If you guys, the students who've been with me for a couple of months or a couple of weeks, I always told you to please memorize the 13th Amendment. Okay. What is the 13th Amendment? Anybody? Anybody? Go ahead and Google it. Go ahead and Google or ask.
13, the ends of slavery in America.
Yes, the 13th Amendment. Okay, remember, Mr. Abraham Lincoln proclaimed it, pero no era oficial. It became official until people voted, until it went to the Constitution. In 1865, a couple of days before they killed Abraham Lincoln, como unos 10 días antes, I want to make sure that let me see. Yeah, about 2 months before they killed Abraham Lincoln, they officially passed the 13th Amendment. Officially, in the Constitution, the amendment number 13 says, in the United States, no one's allowed to have slaves. Okay, and that is the 13th Amendment. So Alondra, does that go back to your question? That one is the proclamation, and the other one is the 13th Amendment.
Okay, teacher.
Okay.
Teacher,
Mhm.
does Abraham Lincoln had to die and to like make it clear, or what happened?
He didn't have to die. He was assassinated.
Yeah.
So keep in mind that Abraham Lincoln fought. So if you guys, okay, so now it all depends on you guys, how you guys feel about movies, but there is a movie of Lincoln, and I think I have it. I own it. I think I own it. Let me see. So in Abraham Lincoln, the movie, it portrays the anxiety that he has because he se le va a acabar su término como presidente. His term is going to expire soon. Remember, he could only be president for 4 years. He was reelected, but in his mind, he's thinking, I need to officially free the slaves. That's what he's basically thinking. Oh, what is going on? He's officially thinking like, I need to free the slaves. I cannot just proclamar. I need to make sure that I free them also. So basically he passes it and everybody, claps and everybody's really happy and everything is like awesome because it's official. Pero la gente estaba enojada. So when the people were mad, they literally went and they killed Mr. Lincoln. They assassinated Mr. Lincoln. And that is basically the movie of Lincoln, this movie
It's
Lincoln.
almost what happened to
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther.
Yes, very similar. That's why they actually, for the same reason, you guys, for the same reason, all of this. So this is basically Lincoln. I think at the moment, if you guys have, I think it was free in Netflix, you guys. I remember not too long ago, I played it for the class, but I think it was free on Netflix. Either way, you guys, Lincoln is the movie that will tell you more about, like, you know, the free, like, that's the struggle that to pass the 13th Amendment, because now we're going back to the stories of the Constitution, not the story, but the rules. Remember, Americans have to vote in order to pass these you know, laws. No nomás pueden pasar nomás porque sí. They have to, you know, pass them officially. So you know, they had to basically fight the Congress and the Constitution, and they have to pass it. So this one is called the 13th Amendment. It was passed before Abraham Lincoln died, and then he died. Then they assassinated him. Okay. Any questions so far? I have 4 more minutes, you guys. I want to make sure that I cover as much as possible in 4 minutes. Everybody's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Abraham Lincoln is assassinated. So we're going to say 1865. I must put it here again, 1865. You know, Civil War ends. Okay. And Lincoln is assassinated. So we have to understand that he is assassinated. And when he's assassinated, you guys, everybody thinks like, nobody's protecting the new Americans, the new Black Americans, because they're basically free now. So everybody's saying, oh, we're, you know, ni modo, the protector is gone. Who's going to protect them? And now, you guys, it's a new era. Y esta era se llama the Reconstruction era, la reconstrucción. Okay, it's called that, the Reconstruction era. So the Reconstruction era is basically 1865 to about 1870, give or take. Okay, about 5 years. You know, that's the Reconstruction era. Let me see. And the Reconstruction basically means that they need to reconstruct, you know, the mentality that we're not going to, you know, we're going to make sure that the new Americans, the new Black Americans that are 100% human, because it was not fair, they need to get the rights. Pero la gente todavía didn't want to give it to them. So from 1865 to 1873, eso se llama the Reconstruction era. Okay. Reconstruction era. And the Reconstruction era, you guys, it was when the 14th Amendment was passed and the 15th Amendment was passed as well. Anybody remember the 14th Amendment?
All babies who were born in the U.S. are
Are
citizens.
okay, so why do you think they needed to pass this after 1865?
Because of the slaves were not like Americans.
Yeah, they were saying like, okay, they're free slaves, but no son americanos because they don't have a birth certificate. What? Yeah, it was they started to create Jim Crow laws. Okay. And Jim Crow laws, se llaman, no es una persona Jim Crow. Jim Crow laws, you guys, Jim Crow laws are illegal, are like I'm gonna say made up law, like I'm gonna say ridiculous. I want to say ridiculous, but the GD doesn't say ridiculous. The Jim Crow laws are racially, you know, what is the right word? Racially awful, illegal. They're not illegal because people were following them. Racially, you know, oriented. There you go, oriented or guided, or you know, racial. I don't know, divided laws. They're gonna make, you know, racially, I guess oriented. I guess I don't know. I'm for lack of better words, because I cannot find the right word. Let me see if I can find a better word for that. Focus. There you go. Racially focused laws. Focus laws. You know, state laws. Unos estados tenían, no todos. First laws to prevent, okay, Black Americans from, you know, participating in American society. This is where you get those laws que no pueden entrar al baño. If you were, and keep in mind, you guys, this is what I always tell all my students. It wasn't only Blacks, you guys. It was not only Blacks. We're Mexicans
I
too,
was
and
gonna tell
Hispanics.
you, yeah, because my grandma did, she did happen one day, she was here in the US
Yep.
and they didn't let her in, just my
Yeah.
grandpa. My grandpa was Mexican too, but they thought that he was like white. So they say you can enter, but she can't.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Rodolfo. I'm telling you, my brain is, my brain is totally, tired now. It's the race segregation, but it's not, it's to, focused on race segregation. Thank you. Okay, so focus on race segregation. So look at this, you guys. So I know some of you are copying this. I'm gonna put here on my other screen. I'm gonna put Jim Crow laws, and when I'll show you some of the images. Look, it says here color only, but look what it says right here, you guys. See that? So this is the Jim Crow laws that continue for 100 years. 100 years in America, this continued. So it was not only for, like I said, for Black Americans, it was for anybody who was not considered white. Look. So it's not.
So basically, that's the help area, the movie.
Yes. Well, that one continued for 100 years. So that the movie Help is from 1860. This started in 1865. So we have 100 years of stories, Alondra. 100 years. The movie The Help is towards the end when we already have Abraham Lincoln. I'm sorry, John F. Kennedy and people that wanted to change, but it lasted 100 years. 100 years, you guys, of segregation, of manipulation and abuse of power. Because bottom line, that's what it is. That's why the GED is going to focus a lot on this. Why do we focus a lot on, why does the GED focus a lot on this era all the way up to World War II? Because we need to make sure, okay, the GED is going to give you your high school diploma. Your high school diploma is going to send you to college. The high school diploma means that you understand the fundamental of the United States. The United States fundamental is on human rights. And World War II was an abuse of human rights with Hitler. The Civil War was a fight to help Black Americans get their civil rights. And people still didn't want to listen. So in 1865, we also have the movement with John F. Kennedy and with Martin Luther King. So the GED is going to have a lot of these questions. All you have to know is the dates and the situation. Do you need to know all the stories between? No. The dates and the situation. The same way we're talking about music, the genre, the generation. Okay? Any questions? I'm going to go ahead and stop here. It's already 8:30.
I just have one question. Are you gonna email us
all of this? I'm going to actually do it right now. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. All of this is going to be posted. I'm going to post them right now on the website under notes. So when you go,
I was wondering for the Aztec.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely email you that. You know what? Stay online after, and I'll give it to you right now. If you need your Aztec login, stay after, and I'll give it. It only takes about 2 minutes for me to create it. I just haven't had the time to slow down. But here, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the notes as well. So I'm right here on whiteboard notes. On the notes.
So how do I access that website?
The Aztec?
No,
this one.
The one you were on.
This is the one that I emailed it to you, the bit.ly. I don't know if you remember the one that says bit.ly.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And it's right here. Yeah.
Is there an app for that, or is it just go through the email?
No, it's just a website. It's just a website that I'm able to put everything live. Like it's it's like my whiteboard. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put 3/30, 2021, and I'm gonna go ahead and put here the notes for today. So there you go. All the notes that we talked about today. Okay, they're under here. Just in case you missed them, they're all here under 3.
We're able to print this out, right?
You're able to print them out, but I mean, it's up to you, because if you print them out, you're going to print out all the notes from even the other days, which is okay, but they're pretty how many pages do we have of notes? 12 pages, which is good to review, you guys. But I mean, some of them are repetitive because I repeat a lot of the lessons, but you're more than welcome to look at the notes. Okay, so let me make sure. So for homework, you guys, for homework, I'm going to go ahead and put here on the website. I want you to go to Aztec software. That's why I'm asking you, if you don't have your Aztec software, make sure that you are asking me about your Aztec login. I could see who's working, you guys. And like I said, I am not a high school teacher. You guys are adults. I cannot go and give you detention because you didn't do your homework. What's going to happen is that you, as you, the person, is not going to pass the GD soon. I don't know how soon you want your GD. If you want your GD, you could pass your GD language, social studies by next month. But it's you guys, not me, you. Because I'm giving you the notes, I'm giving you the homework. For homework, you guys, if you go over to the Aztec, you're going to go to social studies. Okay, so you're going to go down to social studies, to my class. Yours looks different. So mine looks like this. You're going to go to Miss Rosa Leon Blanco or Miss Leon Blanco GD Prep, this one, the blue one, the Kaplan. You're going to go to the learning plan, social studies, and I'm going to put this on the website. And I want you to start working on U.S. history and economics. U.S. history and economics, this one. Okay, begin working on U.S. history and economics. This is what I'm covering right now. See, I'm talking about the manifest destiny. You could use the economics, the mean, medium, and mode. That's what we're talking about here. The Civil War, you know, the Cold War if you want, it's up to you. But if at the end, at least by Thursday, try to finish this one. Early exploration to manifest destiny. Okay, so for homework, try to do this one. If you want to start from the beginning with economics, it's fine because that's a little bit of math, like the one that I covered earlier, you know, with math. But please, for homework, do you need to finish all of it? No, it's very long, but at least can start working, okay, on U.S. history and economics. Okay, any questions, you guys?
No.
Okay, so perfect. So that's it for today. I had a question. I'm sorry. I think I went too fast. Any questions?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. So want to make sure that if you have any questions, let me know. If you could stay after class if you want. If you need your login for Aztec, but that's pretty much it. For all the students, please make sure you take attendance right here. Everybody, you're going to go to the website and take attendance. What I'm going to do to make things easier, I had an idea right now. Let me see. So I'm going to put this in the chat box, and please just take attendance, click on the chat box and take attendance. There you go. It's easier. Just click on the chat box, take attendance. Okay. And that's it for today, you guys.